I'm Lance Yelvington for CyberCountry. Country music, real country music, is all about holding to tradition and valuing those traditions. Now, as country has evolved, that grip seems to be more tenuous, because you hear more pop going into country. But country tradition never goes away. And in this CyberCountry Minute, country icon Mark Chesnutt is going to tell us about what he thinks about country music, as well as his new album, Tradition Lives.
Well, that's the kind of music I do. I don't do anything else, and it's no different than my previous albums. It's just that it's new songs.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing I liked about a long time ago when you started out, and I was starting out my career down there in Alabama, one of the albums that really said something to me was Too Cold at Home. And I love those songs because it kind of goes back to traditional country, and the stuff that I've heard off of this album is kind of like that as well. What went into making these the songs? What was the inspiration for most of the stuff that is on the album?
Well, about 3 years ago, when I had the opportunity to make a new CD after 8 years of not doing any new music. So, well, the first thing we'll do is start finding songs. And so for years, I just rode around on the bus listening to songs people were sending me. And I ended up recording a lot of stuff that was written, 14, 15, 18 years ago. Things that I had passed on before, things that I was told by the label that I was on that were too country, and so this time I had a lot of songs that had never been recorded because it wasn't, it wasn't a cool thing to do anymore. Jamie Johnson came to me and brought me Is It Still Cheating? And I thought, man, why don't you cut this song? He said, oh hell, I wouldn't get any airplay on that. He said, that's your kind of song. And so that's a compliment to me, and that was several years ago. So I was just basically trying to find music songs that my fans would like, because they've been asking me for years, when will I come out with something new? Every night at the shows, meet and greets and autograph lines. When are you going to do something new? Give us some new music. And so that was the whole motivation behind this.
And with all the songs that people pitch to you, though, these are 13 great songs that I've heard. How tough was it to go through there and pick the right songs? Because you've got
it's rough.
A gob.
It's rough to do that because it's not one of my favorite things to do. I had my truck just full of CDs, and I would sit there. I'd go out to my truck every day and sit there for hours until I was just burnt out and listen to CDs. And we'd go out on the road, and I'd bring them with me, and I would sit there and listen to CDs for hours and hours until it just got, after a while your ears get tired, your mind gets tired, and it's kind of tedious, I guess you would say, unless you're a songwriter like Merle Haggard or somebody like that, to sit down and actually just write everything. I'm only a co-writer on one of these songs that was written 18 years ago with Roger Springer.
Yeah.
And so it never recorded, but it's you have to take it serious. It's a very serious thing you have to do, because the good thing was we weren't under the gun. We weren't under a schedule. We had plenty of time to put it together.
The thing I like about the time that you took in putting this whole album together is the fact that it sounds like it goes back to traditional country. I remember growing up here in Nashville, just listening to how music evolved here, and you'd have the really country stages back in the 60s, 70s, kind of went poppy, they went country again, they went poppy again, and now we're getting back to the traditional stuff. It's good to hear that in your songs. I mean, that was intentional, right? Absolutely.
Well, yes, it was just what I do. You know, I didn't set out to try to chase the format, try to chase the chart. I wanted to do the music that I would be comfortable with, and that my fans would be comfortable with. The fans are the most important thing. They're the most important people when you're in this business. If you don't have a fan base, a loyal fan base that'll stick with you, then you have no reason to be there. You know, and I've always felt that way about music, and especially now when it's so different. And you know, I want to make it clear that I did not go out there. I didn't go in the studio with the intention of making a statement or anything like that, or being rebellious or anything. It was time for me to make new music, and that's what I did. Regardless of what's going on right now, I'd have done the same thing if it was if everybody on the radio right now was playing real honky-tonk traditional music. I'd still cut the same stuff I did.
Yeah.
It makes no difference to me. I'm not trying to prove anybody wrong or right. I just did the music the way I want to do it. Did my type of singing.
Yeah. Well, if you do stick with what you're true to, you set your touchstone right there and keep going.
I was told at the very beginning of my career, in 90, I believe, 89 or 90, that I was told by my friend George Jones, stay true to what you do. Stay who you are. Don't change. Don't let them change you. Mm-hmm. He said they're going to try to change you, steer you in another direction, and they did. But he said if you stay true to yourself, you'll work as long as you want to in this business.
Now, what was it like to sit there and write the tribute to Merle Haggard that you have on the album?
I didn't. Oh,
or
you mean
putting that together? Yeah.
The
13th
the description
song.
of it.
Yeah.
I didn't write the song. You know that.
Yeah.
For a fact, that was just something that Jimmy Ritchie and I did one night, just messing around in the studio. Mm-hmm. I loved the song. Jimmy loved the song, and we said, well, let's just lay it down on tape. Let's record this for fun, just for us.
Yeah.
And that's what we did, Jimmy and I. And it was never meant to be a tribute, or it was never meant to be released on a record. It's just something we did for fun, and it was done 3 years before either one of them passed away. Mm-hmm. And so when it was all done, I just thought it's a good time. After Haggard passed away, I said, well, it's a good time to just put that song on the CD as a tribute to both Red Lane and Merle Haggard, since Merle recorded it and Red wrote it.
And what's your favorite part about putting this album together?
Being able to do what I do, what I want to do. Didn't have to hear anybody's opinion about a song. I picked all the songs myself. Mm-hmm. And that is total creative freedom. That's what they call it. Yeah. I call it doing what you want to do. And that's what I did.
Now, if somebody's going to go out and they're going to get this album or see a show, why should they go out to see a show of yours or get the album?
Well, because if they like country music, traditional country music, then we have it. You know, we have it for them. Come to our show, you're going to hear it. I'm not going to be hip-hopping all over the stage. We're going to be playing music like we always have been. And like the CD, you buy the CD, you're gonna hear country music, just like the label says. Tradition lives, and we're keeping it alive, not because we're trying to or have to. It's just what we do. Hey, I'm Mark Chesnutt. Thanks for coming to CyberCountry. And I hope you really enjoy my new CD, Tradition Lives. Go out and get you one, order it, come see us, concert. It's always country. Thanks.